as steps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
And Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
we can't ask Rashad questions.
BET, they sent me some stuff from the Black Vote. They wanted me to react to it or at least pull it up and stuff like that. So I'm gonna pull this up. It's the Black Men Summit from BET. Let me see what they have sent me at BET. All right, cool. Well, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. I'm gonna react to this thing from BET. They sent me some stuff for the Black Vote and things of that sort. All right, here we go.
As a nation, we've never had a female leader. Never. So there is an unspoken idea that a lot of people have, whether they say it out loud or not. So what was your impression?
Look, I love President Obama. And I think we got to be honest in our own community about the reality of sexism and the role that patriarchy plays in our own community. Sure. I go to churches a lot, and there are people who will greet me and not greet my fiance, who's standing right next to me. So there's a real conversation we need to have about what is going on inside
Pearson.
Inside of our communities and what we can do to make sure that we unlearn some of the behaviors that are really negative, right, and that are really harmful. What is also really important is that we do understand the facts. An overwhelming majority of Black men are voting for Vice President Kamala Harris to be president of the United States. Right? 80% of us. So, you know, the truth is, you got that one uncle that you need to talk to. Right. But the majority of us, we good. Right? Like we on the same page. But there is some work that we are going to have to do as a community to figure out what are the qualms, what are the issues, what are the problems that 20% or so of Black folks who a few years ago were voting Democratic and all that are having. And I will say this about Donald. In our country, our socialization has taught us to praise people with a lot of money.
Yeah.
Our socialization has taught us to praise people who are famous.
Right.
Our socialization has taught us to praise people who can get a lot of women and can say what they want and do what they want and have said, hey, that's the image of a real man. That's the image of a strong person. That's the image of a real leader who can just fire people at will. Now he's running for president. And a lot of people are like, wait, no, that's not it anymore. Right. But years of socialization have taught us that actually that is the image that America has put forward as the image of what you want to be, of the person that you want to lead. So it isn't just a Black issue. We got a nationwide issue about the perception of hypermasculinity masquerading as leadership, when in fact it was our mamas and our grandmamas and our great-grandmamas who got us here.
No, that's a great point there from Justin on Trump. Of just like, I think the kind of creation of Trump, like the kind of aura, the mystique around him is like exactly what he was saying. The things that we pump up in society, whether it be like, you know, if you get a lot of money, if you get a lot of women, if you can say whatever you want, you know, you're alpha, you know, the Trump Towers, to have the show and your catchphrase be you're fired. Like, that's like the ultimate like thing that we look at is like, oh man, this dude is like masculine. Like this dude is it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he was like kind of like the definition of kind of cool and rich, you know, for a very, very long time before he got in, you know, into politics and things of that sort. So Justin brings up a very good point in this clip. Shout out to BET for sending that. I know also in this clip, and other clips, Fig Mensa was talking about it, of you know, the things that misconceptions that have been going around about Kamala Harris, that, you know, she locked up thousands of Black men for weed. And he was like, no, it was like 45 over all the years that she was a prosecutor over there in California and stuff like that. So shout out to BET for at least hosting this and doing it for Black men and stuff. Black men have been picked on a lot in this election cycle. And, you know, you guys seen, I don't know if you guys seen it, but Barack Obama had a thing where he was like talking to a room of Black men, and he was like, the brothers, we ain't voting, and we need to get behind Kamala like we got behind me. And it was like, dang, that's crazy, bro. Like, why are people picking on Black men? So I'm glad that Justin pointed out this whole thing of like 80% of Black men have voted, and they have voted a particular way. And also the other 20% that has lost trust in the Democrats. I have so many more friends now that have voted for one of the 4 third-party candidates, because they said, oh, well, you know, we know they're not going to win, but if they get 5% of the vote, then that gives them another $20 million of funding for the independent party in the next election cycle. And, you know, they're so fed up with kind of the lies on both sides of the spectrum, they're going just down the middle. And it's always kind of been like that, where I knew a person or two who voted independent. But this year, I know probably more than a handful of people who have done so. So I think this election cycle is sending a message to both sides that, like, the American people are fed up. They're not just going to take lies. They're not just going to take this or that. And, you know, I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen next week. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think any of y'all know what's going to happen next week. If it was just a traditional 1-2 left or right thing, I think Kamala probably would win, because, you know, you're thinking about, it was Biden versus Trump, and it looked like Trump was going to win that one because Biden just stumbled. He just looked too old. And then, you know, you get in the young person behind them, and they could speak well, and they're still sharp and intelligent and stuff like that, well spoken. And then you're like, oh yeah, they're going to get it. But, you know, she's a woman. She's a woman. And plus, you know, you got a whole nother side of people who are still fed up with how they've handled this situation over in the Middle East with Palestine and Israel, because, you know, just the facts are the facts. The U.S. has given more money to Israel in the past couple of years than they've given to any other foreign nation, and they've done it to fund what a lot of people will call an attempted, the G word, over there in Palestine. So, you know, a lot of people are fed up, and things are that, you know, they're not just going for anything. So salute to everybody on that. We want to talk about the next thing. Okay.
That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
And Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Yeah, we can't ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.